Greetings, friends. Today, we're embarking on a thrilling journey into the world of Dan Brown, a writer whose novels The Da Vinci Code and Deception Point are not just books but cultural phenomena that have reshaped how we think about history, religion, science, and truth. These intellectual thrillers keep us turning pages until dawn, prompting us to question and seek answers. I want to tell you everything: how Brown crafted these masterpieces, the challenges he faced, what he himself said about them, the moments that make them unforgettable, why they're worth your time, and how they were received by readers, critics, and fellow authors. We'll peek behind the scenes, uncover secrets, and explore why these books left such a mark on literature. So, grab a coffee, get comfortable. This lecture will be as gripping as Brown's novels. Behind the scenes, how the masterpieces were born. When I think of Dan Brown, what strikes me first is his almost detective-like obsession with detail. Picture a writer who doesn't just read books or skim articles but embarks on real expeditions to capture the essence of the places he writes about. For the Da Vinci Code, Brown and his wife, Blythe Newlin, traveled across Europe like characters in his own novel. They spent hours wandering the Louvre, studying Mona Lisa and The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci, exploring the Gothic architecture of Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland and the grandeur of Westminster Abbey in London. In a 2003 interview with the New York Times, Brown said, "I can't write about a place until I've seen it with my own eyes." Standing before a Leonardo painting, I look not just for symbols but for the emotions they evoke. That's what brings my stories to life. He consulted art historians, theologians, cryptographers, and even experts on Gnostic Gospels to delve into the intricacies of the Priory of Chaon, the Knights Templar, and medieval legends. But creating the Da Vinci Code was no easy feat. Published in 2003, the book sparked a firestorm even before it became a bestseller. The Catholic Church, particularly the Vatican, accused Brown of heresy for his theory about Jesus Christ's marriage to Mary Magdalene. In 2004, the Vatican issued an official statement calling the novel anti-Christian and riddled with historical errors. Brown received threatening letters, but he stood firm. On Good Morning America in 2004, he stated, "This book is not an attack on religion but an invitation to dialogue. I want readers to ask questions and seek answers." Interestingly, the novel's idea was partly inspired by Holy Blood, Holy Grail by Michael Bygent, Richard Lee, and Henry Lincoln. The authors sued Brown for plagiarism, claiming he borrowed their theory about the Grail. In 2006, a London court dismissed the case, and Brown commented in The Guardian, "I used their book as one of many sources, but the Da Vinci Code is my story, my characters, my puzzles." The lawsuit itself was like a plot from his books, full of intrigue and tension. For Deception Point, Brown dove into the world of science with equal enthusiasm. He visited NASA facilities, spoke with geologists, oceanographers, meteorite experts, and specialists in Arctic expeditions. In a 2001 lecture at the University of New Hampshire, he said, "Science is modern magic. I wanted to show how it can be used for good or evil." He studied ice drilling technologies, satellite systems, and methods for analyzing cosmic rocks, but scientists weren't always thrilled. Some criticized him for exaggerating the capabilities of technologies, like advanced drilling equipment or scanning systems. In a 2002 Publishers Weekly interview, Brown responded, "My goal isn't a textbook but a story that makes your heart race. If I embellished a bit, it's for the drama." His fascination with conspiracy theories also played a role. In a 2001 Time interview, he confessed, "I've always been intrigued by the secrets hidden behind official statements." In Deception Point, I wanted to explore how science can be a tool for manipulation. Another fascinating detail, Brown shared that for Deception Point, he consulted survival experts to make the Arctic scenes believable. "I imagined myself on an ice floe," he said in USA Today in 2001, and asked, "How would I survive?" That helped me make the characters real. His home library, he claimed, was overflowing with books on space, meteorites, and political intrigue. This obsession with detail makes his novels so vivid. What are these books about? Plots and deeper themes. Now, let's dive into the novels themselves. The Da Vinci Code begins with a murder in the Louvre. Curator Jacques Saunier leaves behind puzzles hidden in anagrams, symbols, and even his own body. Robert Langdon, a professor of symbology, teams up with cryptologist Sophie Neveu to unravel this mystery. Their journey takes them from Paris to London and Scotland, where they uncover the secret of the Holy Grail. But what if the Grail isn't a chalice but something far deeper, tied to the history of Christianity? The book explores religion, art, symbolism, and the eternal conflict between faith and knowledge. In a 2003 The Boston Globe interview, Brown said, "I wanted to write a story that makes readers wonder, what do we know about history? Who decides what's true?" This novel is a reflection on hidden truths, the power of knowledge, and how history is shaped by those who write it. Deception Point transports us to the Arctic, where NASA discovers a meteorite with evidence of extraterrestrial life. Intelligence analyst Rachel Sexton and oceanographer Michael Tolland are tasked with verifying this find, only to realize it may be part of a massive conspiracy threatening NASA and the U.S. political landscape. The book delves into science, politics, ethics, and information manipulation. In a 2001 USA Today interview, Brown noted, "I'm fascinated by how scientific discoveries can change the world or be used to deceive. This novel forces us to question the boundaries between truth and lies, especially in an era where information is a weapon." Thematically, these books go deeper than they seem. The Da Vinci Code raises questions about the role of women in religious history, suggesting Mary Magdalene was not just a disciple but a pivotal figure, possibly sidelined by patriarchal structures. Deception Point explores the ethics of science. Is it ever justified to falsify data for a greater good? Both novels tackle the theme of power, religious, political, or informational, and how it shapes our perception of the world. They challenge readers to think critically about authority and truth. Most memorable moments. The Da Vinci Code has scenes I'll never forget. Remember the moment in the Louvre when Langdon deciphers the anagram O, draconian devil, O, lame saint. It's like an intellectual chess game, each move revealing a new mystery. Or the scene with the Last Supper, where the characters notice that the figure next to Jesus looks like Mary Magdalene. This made me pull up the painting online, searching for clues. The moment in Rosslyn Chapel, where Langdon and Sophie find hidden symbols leading to the Grail, is breathtaking. The final twist about the Grail's nature is a mind-blowing revelation that made me reread the last chapters. And the chase in London, where the heroes barely escape their enemies in Westminster Abbey, keeps you on the edge of your seat. In Deception Point, the scene on the cracking ice floe is unforgettable. Imagine the heroes in Arctic darkness, the ice collapsing beneath them, pursued by mercenaries. It's pure adrenaline. Another moment is when Rachel and Michael realize the meteorite might be a fake, a gut punch that makes you doubt alongside them. The underwater attack scene on the platform is a thriller within a thriller, with every second teetering on the edge of life and death. And the reveal of who's behind the conspiracy is like a lightning bolt, reshaping everything. Why should you read them? Why do I recommend these books so passionately? First, they open new horizons. After the Da Vinci Code, I was Googling Gnostic Gospels, the Knights Templar, the Priory of Chaun, and even Rosslyn Chapel's architecture. Deception Point sparked my interest in meteorites, NASA's work, and ice drilling technologies. Second, they're unputdownable. Brown is a master of cliffhangers. Every chapter ends with a twist that demands you keep reading. In a 2006 The Oprah Winfrey Show appearance, he said, "My goal is not to provide answers but to spark curiosity," and he succeeds. Third, these books provoke. They make you ask, who writes history? Can we trust scientific discoveries? Is truth absolute? The Da Vinci Code sparks debates about religion and women's roles in history, while Deception Point questions the ethics of science and information manipulation. Fourth, they're universal. Love history? You'll enjoy Leonardo's puzzles. Into science? Deception Point dives into cosmic exploration. Just want a thriller? Both books deliver adrenaline on every page. Finally, they inspire travel. After the Da Vinci Code, I added the Louvre, Rosslyn Chapel, and Westminster Abbey to my must-visit list. Isn't it amazing when a book changes how you see the world? Cultural impact and controversies. The Da Vinci Code wasn't just a book, it was a cultural phenomenon. After its 2003 release, Louvre tours surged by thousands of percent as people flocked to see Mona Lisa and the Louvre Pyramid through Langdon's eyes. The book sold over 80 million copies and was translated into 44 languages. The 2006 film with Tom Hanks amplified its impact, but controversies raged. Beyond the Vatican, historians criticized Brown for oversimplifying the Priory of Chaun, exaggerating Gnostic texts, and inaccuracies about the Templars. In a 2005 The Times interview, Brown responded, "I'm not a historian, I'm a storyteller. My job is to entertain and inspire thought." And he did, sparking global debates about religion, history, and art. Deception Point was less explosive but still influential. It made readers question manipulation in science and politics, feeling prophetic in today's era of fake news. Critics praised its pace, though some scientists grumbled about exaggerated technologies, like satellite capabilities or drilling equipment. In a 2002 Scientific American interview, Brown said, "I take scientific facts and add a bit of magic. That's what makes the story alive." The book inspired interest in space exploration and influenced the popularity of science in mass culture. Both novels reshaped literature. After the Da Vinci Code, a wave of thrillers mimicked Brown's blend of history, puzzles, and pace. Publishers hunted for the next Dan Brown, and bookstores filled with novels about secret societies and conspiracies. Deception Point inspired science thriller authors to explore space and political intrigue. What others say. Fellow authors, critics, and readers didn't hold back. Stephen King, in a 2003 Entertainment Weekly review, called the Da Vinci Code a smart thriller that keeps you turning pages until morning. He added, "Brown mixes fact and fiction so seamlessly you start believing it all." John Grisham, in the New York Times, said, "Brown invented a genre where intellect and adrenaline are two sides of the same coin." Salman Rushdie, in a 2004 The Guardian interview, noted, "I disagree with his historical assumptions, but the book makes readers think, and that's an achievement." Patricia Cornwell, on Deception Point, said in Booklist in 2001, "Brown makes science as thrilling as a detective story. It's a thriller that doesn't let go." Critics chimed in too. The New York Times called the Da Vinci Code a captivating blend of history and fiction that challenges everything we know. The Guardian added, "It doesn't claim historical accuracy, but it doesn't need to, it entertains." For Deception Point, Publishers Weekly in 2001 praised its breakneck pace and unexpected twists. Historian Barbara Tuchman, in a 2005 The Atlantic piece, said, "Brown makes people curious about history, even if it's embellished. That's a rare gift." Readers on platforms like Goodreads shared, "After the Da Vinci Code, I visited the Louvre to see the pyramid," or "Deception Point had me Googling meteorites all night." In conclusion, friends, the Da Vinci Code and Deception Point are more than books, they're adventures for the mind and soul. As Brown said on The Oprah Winfrey Show in 2006, "My goal is not to provide answers but to spark curiosity." These novels take you on journeys through art, religion, science, and politics. They're not perfect, but does perfection matter when a book makes your heart race? They inspire visits to museums, dives into history, and curiosity about science. So, grab these books, brew some tea, and dive into the mysteries. Then come back and tell me which scene, idea, or secret blew you away. I'll be waiting.